Well, good morning and welcome to 10 with Tom. We're going to go a little long and do something a little different today. Sunday night, I was a guest on Word FM in Pittsburgh on a program called Teen Quest Live, and I had a chance to talk with Mark Witt from the Teen Quest Ministry up there, and so we're going to share that tonight with 10 with Tom. But before we do that, just a couple of quick announcements. A reminder that this Sunday, or rather on tomorrow, Wednesday, we've got our first Wild Wednesday of the year from 1:30 to 5 for all of our middle schoolers, so we hope you'll be a part of that if you've got a middle school student. And then our Super Bowl party coming up this Sunday. It's going to be a great time, and so we encourage everybody to bring something and be a part of that. So that's what's going on. If you got any questions, be sure and contact us here at the Village Church. And with that, let us begin today's 10 with Tom with a 15-minute interview with Mark Witt on Teen Quest Live.
This is Teen Quest Live, where we create conversations about youth culture, parenting, and issues facing teenagers in today's world. Here's our host, Mark Witt.
I've been in youth ministry for 4 decades and know the youth culture is forever changing. With COVID-19, even more changes are happening very rapidly. School closings, kids locked down in their homes have become the norm. Kids are facing depression, anxiety, and frustration on a daily basis. What are some of those cultural changes? Well, my guest today is a great friend, Tom Bowers. He's the youth leader at Village Church in St. Augustine, Florida, near Jacksonville, Florida. Tom Bowers is going to talk with me by phone in just a moment on the changing culture of youth on this edition of Teen Quest Live. Since 1976, Teen Quest has been on the cutting edge of reaching a world of teenagers for Christ. Teen Quest's mission is to share Christ with students throughout the world through mission ventures, special events, teaching, music drama productions, personal evangelism, and camping at the Teen Quest Ranch. Teenagers from all backgrounds and locations come to the Teen Quest Ranch in the Laurel Highlands throughout the year for a camping experience that is second to none. Students come from different parts of the world to the Teen Quest Ranch. Lots of activities from horseback riding, paintball, laser tag, to ATV trails. Summer camps, spring and fall camps, and snow camps are some of the opportunities teenagers will experience at Teen Quest throughout the year. Our goal is to win, disciple, and send teenagers to a world that needs Christ. Go to our webpage, teenquest.org, and check out the great opportunities for students. By the way, help us continue this strong outreach by making a generous donation to Teen Quest. Go to teenquest.org/donate. That's teenquest.org/donate. Together, we can reach a world of teenagers for Christ. Well, by way of phone, I have on the phone today Tom Bowers down in sunny Florida. And that great warm weather. Boy, I wish I could be down there right now. It's cold and snowy here. I mean, it's cold up here.
Well, it's not too bad here. It's about 65 degrees right now, and we're enjoying our winter as well.
Oh, yeah, right. Now, how long have you been down in the sunny Jacksonville, St. Augustine area?
Hard to believe we've been here 21 years now.
Oh, boy. Wow. Boy, that time goes fast. I remember you were originally from western Pennsylvania, and
that's correct.
And don't you miss it up here, Tom?
We do. We miss our friends up there. We still have family up there, so we get up there when we can. And I know my wife most of all misses the leaves in the fall, because we have nothing like that here in Florida.
That's right. That's right. Now, you know, I know of a few, and I mean a few, youth leaders who've made a long career of working with teenagers. And Tom, you're one of them. I mean, I know a few, but you're one of those few. What's the secret to the longevity of working with young people?
Not sure that it's a secret, Mark, but staying plugged in to God's Word and staying close in your relationship with Christ is number one. And then number two is being involved in youth ministry for the long haul. You begin to be encouraged by the results that you see that don't happen in a week, that don't happen in a month, but happen years down the road. I'm working right now with a student who's in his final semester at seminary, who grew up in our youth program, came in when he was in 7th grade, and he's getting ready to serve the Lord full time. And when you see those kind of stories, it encourages you to keep going because you're making a difference, and God is moving in the
don't you find yourself start thinking like kids after you hang around them all the time? You start thinking like a kid, right?
People say that I do, yeah. I just turned 60, and
oh, you're kidding.
Somebody said, you can't be 60 years old. Your brain's still 25.
Now, what kind of kids do you work with in your church, village church in St. Augustine? I'm sure you have some outreach, but what kind of kids? Church kids, street kids, unchurched kids? What kind of kids do you work with?
We're a pretty good mix of church kids and unchurched kids. A lot of our kids bring in friends. We have a unique ministry program in that we're working with another local church here, and our youth programs work together. They have some facility issues that were made even worse because of COVID, and so we've just combined our groups and we do ministry together. And so we're drawing kids from a number of different local schools, and those kids are starting to bring their friends, and it's just been a fun time for us to grow the ministry together. And so it's a good mix of kids.
Well, you know, a lot of people say that you got to be young to work with kids, and you said you're 60, so you've been in youth ministry a long time. Why would kids listen to old guys like you and me?
The biggest thing I think is that they know that we care. I've made it a point to be involved in the local schools. I volunteer at a middle school and have been there since the day the school opened in 2007. So the kids know me. We're at their events. Was at a concert this past weekend. Some of the girls that are in the group, I go to the games as much as I can. They know we care. And the friends start to ask, who's this guy that's always at the games? And so they introduce them. And so when they know somebody cares, they're willing to come and to listen and to be a part of what's going on.
You know, Tom, in the last 20 years, there's been a lot of changes culturally, and maybe, you know, with our kids. A lot of social media, smartphones, all these things that are happening, changes that are happening. And families are under such pressure today than even 20 years ago. I'm convinced, Tom, that a church or ministry has got to have an experienced youth leader to be able to deal with these kids, what they're facing. What's your take on this?
Well, I don't know that it necessarily has to be an experienced youth leader, but a willing to be mentored or partnered together with somebody who's gone through it. I think that's very, very important. There have been so many changes culturally that we've seen through the years, and I think social media is one of the biggest ones. And the pressure that puts on our kids. You know, we've got so many kids that are out there today that they're living for the likes and the followers and all of those things. And they don't realize that their lives are on display all the time, and those things can come back to haunt you when you put every element of your life out there. You know, we see people running for office now that they're pulling up things that they said 15, 20 years ago. They're digging up things that they did when they were teenagers, and there's so much judgment out in the world, and they're giving them so many more opportunities to judge them, which is one of the things I hear from kids all the time. I don't want people to judge me. But they're laying things out there that people are making snap judgments on, and fair or not, that's had an effect. I think the phones being on 24/7, you know, we have kids I know that sleep with their phones. And anytime there's that little beep in the middle of the night, they jump up and they want to see what's going on. They're afraid they're going to miss something.
Yeah.
And so they get addicted to the phones, and their sleep is messed up, and that has health effects, both mental health and physical health effects. And so there's a lot of things going on with that. And then you also mentioned the family pressures. You know, I'm sure the divorce rate is pretty consistent around the country. And so we've got so many kids that are in one house one weekend, one house the following weekend, constantly on the move, and they don't have the consistency that a strong nuclear family can provide. And so that's an issue that so many families are facing as well. And trying to help kids navigate through that is a big part of what we do now.
You know, you were talking about the my grandkids, when they come to my house, they have to have their smartphone. Even when they go to bed, they stay at our house, they want to have those smartphones, and we have to kind of control that a little bit. But I know what you're saying. They live for those phones. It's whatever they're doing. It's interesting.
And the other thing I think, real quick, is just the constant pressure to succeed, and they feel like they need to succeed in everything right away. And we've even seen that with testing in schools. My wife was a teacher for many years, and shared that a student was caught cheating, and when the parent came in to meet with the teacher and the principal, the parents' thought was, well, they're just using their resources to succeed. And that's become the mindset for so many of them, that there's nothing wrong with cheating. It's just another resource that we use to get where we need to be.
What's your relationship with parents? How important is it to work with parents of kids that you work with? Do you think that's essential, or do you think that's just something kind of an afterthought?
I think it's essential, and it's one of the struggles we have because parents are so busy. But we try and maintain contact and get them involved in the things that we're doing. And when you're able to do that, it builds a family. And kids need a family atmosphere, especially with so many not having strong nuclear families. For many, the church becomes a place where they feel like they're a part of a family. And so the more parents you get involved in that, the more it helps the community.
What do you think about, or maybe you've not experienced this, but parents who punish their kids by saying, you're not going to go to youth group because you did something bad? Do you find that's happening?
Yeah, we've seen that a few times. And we talk with the kids, we talk with the parents, encourage the kids that, you've got to honor your father and mother. And let's figure out how we can stay connected through this time until you're able to come back. When I talk with parents, I've never had kids of my own, so I can't speak as a parent. But I look at that and say, is that the best thing for them? Because we really want them to stay connected. And when you pull the disconnect, it's really easy for a kid when they're disconnected for a period of time to then just walk away from it. And so we'll talk with parents about the danger of what can happen if the kid pulls away for a time. And so encourage them to get them back as soon as possible. But if they can't come to youth group, then really encourage them. Hey, be a part of our Sunday morning experiences and our Bible studies, our online activities. So please don't make them walk away completely, because we don't want to shut down that lifeline.
So getting back to the cultural changes, what do you think the biggest cultural change? Would you say the social media?
Yeah, I think so. Social media and just the pressure to succeed. The kids are just feeling constant pressure. And I see so many more kids stressed out than I ever did in ministry. We didn't talk about stress when I started in the 80s. But now kids are stressed out over everything, to the point where a lot of them are becoming physically ill. And so we've got more counselors involved than we ever have in our school system. And we've got resource officers in our school system that are available to help kids try and walk through things that are going on in their lives. But just that constant pressure to succeed and the fear of failure. We learned so much when we were growing up through the times that we failed. And now it seems like so many of the kids are just afraid to fail.
Why is it that the kids, if they sat down one-on-one with you, they wouldn't express themselves as much as they would on social media? They'll put stuff on there that they would never say to someone else. Why is that?
I think there's the freedom to just express yourself and be who you are, as the saying seems to go, when you're not attached to other people. But one thing that's been helpful for me is that social media is a window to who they are. And so we can talk in one-on-one situations or in small group situations about things that have been posted that we might not have been able to talk about earlier. So in that sense, social media has been a good thing, because it's given us a window into who they really are, so that we can address some of the issues that they're going through and try and help them navigate through that, rather than trying to do it all on their own.
Tom, we're out of time, but I'd like to have you stay with us for another program. And I want to ask the question, what do you say to a kid in your group that wants to transition or wants to make some major changes sexually or whatever? And I want to ask you some difficult questions like that on our next program, and that's maybe we're running out of time. Thank you for listening today. Our email address is teenquest.org. This is Mark Witt and Tom Bowers. We'll see you next time on Teen Quest Live.
Have a great day. Love you guys. Bye-bye.